Today we're going to look at the brand new JW Speaker 8700 Evolution 2. This is the third generation of this American-made company's famous 7-inch round LED headlight. The JW Speaker 8700 has taken the world by storm in the last year for Harley-Davidson enthusiasts, Jeep Wrangler drivers, and owners of classic muscle cars which use this standard 7-inch round style headlight. Now the 8700 is on its third generation. They have the 8700, the 8700 Evolution, and now the 8700 Evolution 2. The 8700 Evolution in black has been the most popular 7-inch round LED headlight on the market for a long time. This is part number 0547331. And it has been replaced by the new JW Speaker 8700 Evolution 2, part number 0549701. And right next to the black ones, we have the chrome. Here we have the chrome, part number 0547891, and it's been replaced by the new upgraded version 0549711. You can see that the headlights look very similar. They're from the exact same family. We have the 8700s in black and chrome. Now we have the new version just released this last month, the 8700 Evolution 2, or called the 8700 Evo 2. They look similar, but they are extremely different. The JW Speaker has done a great job upgrading the optics and the lighting and the power of these lights to be not only cheaper, so it's better for the consumer in that regard, but they also put way more light on the road. We're gonna go through a few differences of the different lights, show you what they've updated with the new model, and then do a comparison of the beam pattern output from the old style to the new style. To show you the differences in the product from new to old, first we're gonna start with the packaging. On the new box for the JW Speaker Evo 2, they seem to be advertising like an acrylic halo or something on the top. That is actually going to be released with the Eurocode version, ECE, for European driving. That's actually going to be what they call a position light, which is required in other countries, and that version likely will not be available in the USA. We can see some of the differences. It shows two of the D-shaped projectors on the sides, whereas the original one only has one. It's called the 8700 Evolution 2, where the last version was the 8700 Evolution. You can see it's DOT approved, comes in black or chrome, and still proudly made in the USA. If I flip the box around, you can see some other telling information. Now on the back side, a lot of the same information is there, but they've just updated the beam pattern output picture and the specs. Now when you look at the front of the headlights, you can see that they're obviously from the same family. Some of the big differences is the speaker logo used to be on the top, now it's on the bottom. The DOT, VOR, LED, SAE, HL information is now on the top, used to be on the bottom. In the 8700 Evolution, the second gen version of the 8700, we only had two D-shaped projectors for the low beam for the major part of the left to right beam pattern. Now on the 8700 Evo 3, we have four D-shaped projectors on the side to create the major portion of the left to right beam pattern. You have a lower projector and an upper projector for the left to right beam pattern creation. The two other big changes that they did to the front is now we have a much larger low beam projector. It almost looks the same size as the high beam projector, and the rounded bezel portion that goes down the center that holds the two projectors in place is now bigger and flatter, giving it a more modern look than the 8700 Evolution that they just discontinued. Now on the back side of the headlights, it almost looks like they used the exact same mold for the heatsink, but it is a little bit different. You can see on the 8700 Evolution, you have a lot more large fins closer to the front of the light, and on the 8700 Evolution 2, they actually smoothed all of this out, and we don't have so many fins up here, which should make it easier to fit more housing applications that are a tighter fit. And we still have the two yellow moisture vents on the top and the two yellow moisture vents on the bottom. We still have the same production notes. You have the stickers here that say, when it was made and who signed for it. And you still have the same clear sticker on the heatsink here and here that displays the date that they were made for warranty purposes. But one big difference that they did was they actually recessed the area where the wires come out. And this makes a lot of sense, because if you have this thing in a tight spot and the wires are hitting in the back, that could create a failure point. Well, they've successfully eliminated the failure point by recessing it inside the heatsink. And the last thing is, you can see that they use the same connectors, but on the new 8700 Evolution 2, the 3 wires that come out the back are actually a little bit smaller. Other than that, the backside hasn't really changed a whole lot. The old version, 8700 Evolution headlight, created 1,350 lumens of low beam light output and 1,770 lumens of high beam light output. This light operated at 11.4 up to 24 volts of DC power for input, and at 12 volts DC used 2.5 amps of power. The new version, JW Speaker 8700 Evolution 2, creates 1,770 lumens of light output for low beam and 2,610 lumens of light output for high beam. It operates at 12 to 24 volts of DC for input power and draws 2 amps at 12 volts DC for low beam and 2.8 amps at 12 volts DC for high beam. The 8700 Evolution 2 is still DOT compliant, has a lifetime warranty, made in USA, available in black or chrome, and is built with a high-quality, hard-coated polycarbonate lens using a die-cast aluminum housing. The operation of the new 8700 Evolution 2 is very similar to its predecessor. It still has the 3 wires coming out the back for the H4. You've got a ground, a positive low beam, and a positive high beam. And the lights where they turn on the headlight is also very similar to the original, but with one big difference. On low beam, we have the upper projector, which in the 8700 Evo 2 is larger than the original 8700 Evo, and the larger D-shaped projector on the side turns on, which creates our left to right beam pattern for the spread on the road. When I go to high beam, the top projector turns off, the bottom projector turns on, and now we have both D-shaped projectors on the side illuminated. Let me show you what this looks like against the wall so you can get an idea of what the beam pattern looks like in real life. So here we are 25 feet away from our white wall to give you an idea of what this looks like. This is the 8700 Evolution. This is the 2nd gen version of the headlight, which has been discontinued. I just wanted to show you what it looks like for reference. This is the low beam. We have the familiar color band from red to purple, top to bottom. You can see each of the colors, which is really cool. And at the top, you've got the up and to the right kind of slope of the beam pattern, which is designed for DOT approval, American road driving. And when I flip the high beam, nothing changes but that top middle section. Now, like I said in the original 8700 Evolution video, this is deceiving. On the road, this is an impressive high beam. It goes really far down the road. Now remember, we're only 25 feet away. Now here's the 3rd generation of the 8700. This is the 8700 Evo 2 low beam. The biggest thing that I noticed when I turned this one on originally is it is a huge beam pattern. It's unbelievable. Not only is it taller than the 8700 Evolution predecessor, but it also is way wider. And I'll show you a comparison in just a second. Also, the top center portion that has the kind of up and to the right pattern so that it doesn't blind oncoming drivers is a lot brighter than the old version. So we still have the familiar red to yellow to white to blue color spectrum up and down on this beam pattern. Something interesting is in the center section, we have a couple like triangular shaped anomalies in the beam pattern. I hope that's not annoying when you're driving down the road. And then look what happens if I move this thing so you can see kind of the extra light that comes off this housing. And I imagine this has to do with the fact that the light is coming off of the projectors and kind of bouncing around the chrome reflector. But look at this, all of this beam, all of this light, this funny shape below the main beam pattern. And if we go above it also, you have all kinds of interesting shapes. Now, granted, when you're driving down the road, all of those weird shapes just kind of going to disappear because all you'll be able to focus on is the super bright beam pattern, but it's still there. You should probably know about it. Now if I go to high beam, this is really wild. I've never seen a headlight with a high beam like this. This has got to be, I mean, I don't like having favorites because we try to review all kinds of lighting products, but this has got to be the best high beam we've ever seen. It doesn't just add a little extra light in the top center. It adds a ton more light above the beam pattern. Low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam. So not only does it create an upward arc to fill in the beam pattern, but it also makes a really bright downrange light. That hot spot right in the center is going to go a long ways in front of your vehicle. I moved the headlights closer to the wall so we can demonstrate just how much bigger the 8700 Evo 2 beam pattern is to the 8700 Evo. It's like 1.5 times as big. Look at that left to right spread. Now up against the wall doesn't quite do it justice. If we could do a real world application, that would give you a much better idea. But we thought the 8700 Evolution was impressive. Now the Evo 2 blows it out of the water. Look at this. I can put the beam pattern from the 8700 Evolution inside of the beam pattern for the Evo 2. I mean, this is incredible. How did they make it so much better? Now the other thing to look at is check out the center section. On the original one, the 8700 Evolution, there is just the up and to the right kind of beam pattern. Now on the 8700 Evo 2, we have that same cutoff shape, but it also has an extra added hot spot that is going to put way more light on the road than the original one. As you can see, this is just an incredible demonstration of how much better American-made LED headlights are than anything else on the planet. So there you have it. The new 8700 Evo 2 from JW Speaker, made in Wisconsin, proudly in the USA, is way better than the old JW Speaker 8700 Evolution. I'm kind of guessing if you've got the 8700 Evolution, you should probably sell them and get the new ones, because these are unbelievable. If you have any questions about this new product or want to get a set for your vehicle, contact us at www.headlightrevolution.com, and we will be happy to help with whatever lighting projects you have going on, from LED headlights to upgraded light bulbs to off-road lighting, LED light bars, anything you can imagine. Headlightrevolution.com is your source for LED headlights and more. Subscribe to our channel to see what product we review next, and we'll see you next time.